Okay, first off, before we actually get into the material I'm going to cover, I just want to say the material we're going to cover is something I really enjoy. I hope you enjoy it too. Let's go. So, hello everybody, welcome to What the Hey. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but welcome to the show. I'm your host of What the Hey, and let's get into it. So, the question for today is not actually what the hey, it's who the hey, which I'm so excited about because I love talking about people. Don't take that out of context, don't worry about it. So the question in full for today is who the hey was Lucky Luciano? And I'm so excited about this topic and this person because what he was surrounded in and what he was doing is something that I'm always interested in and I love to learn more about. So here we go. So as I said a little bit earlier, the question is who the hey was Lucky Luciano, and the actual dude's name is Salvatore Luciano, and he's also called Charles Luciano. He primarily stuck to Salvatore, but he also had the name Charles, so he had a few names. Yeah. So this dude's day of birth was on November 24th, 1897, and he died on January 26th, 1962, and at the age of his death, he was 64 years old. So he got over the 50 halfway mark, so good for him. So where he lived, Salvatore mainly lived in the United States, but he was born in Italy and he died in Italy, but he kind of went around those two places. Yeah. So the main things he's known for is that he's a mobster, and that's the main thing I love to talk about because I love all things like mafia gang. Not that they're good. I'm just saying it's cool stuff to learn about. Just saying. So he's a mobster. He's also known for being the father of modern organized crime in the United States because, like I said earlier, he lived and he was born and he died in Italy, but he was mainly functioning in the United States. He's also known for creating the Commission in 1931, which is basically known as the governing body of mafia and gang crime in the United States. More so it's the American Mafia specifically, but gang crime. Here we go. So at this part, I'm gonna say other things he's done and been with, and I'll hopefully not get off track and just do them all. I'm gonna explain each of them in slight detail, and it'll be great. Go, I'm editing this out, go.
I want you to chuck a potato at me.
Go. I have to record, go.
But potatoes!
Okay, so first off, Salvatore spent some time in jail because he was convicted of stuff, he did stuff. He was put in jail. So another thing he did that's really interesting is the fact that Luciano helped the New York harbors during World War II by protecting them from Axis U-boats. Before he helped, he actually was in jail, so they were kind of like, ooh, we kind of need you right now. So they took him out of jail and they were like, can you help us not die, protect our harbors, please? And he was like, okay, I guess. The funny thing though was that he kind of almost didn't help protect the harbors. They kind of had to be like, you need to hold up your end of the deal, sir, because we got you out of jail, so do your job. Another thing is that he was a member of the 5 Points gang. So Luciano, during his time, early life and just life in general, he got into different positions of being in mafia and gangs and stuff. He was gunman to different mafia bosses. He was a mafia boss basically, but he put himself into different gangs, so he'd climb up the gang mafia stair of power, so to speak. So another thing he's known for is the fact that he ran one of the biggest bootlegging operations in New York. And around this time, and why he was doing this was because around this time, the prohibition in the United States, which basically prevented alcohol selling and all this different stuff, he basically cut corners and helped sell bootleg alcohol and all this different stuff to people who needed it and such. So that's why he got into all these different operations and spooky stuff. Aside from being in mafias, he participated in gambling, drug trafficking, compulsory prostitution, and a lot of other interesting things. when I mentioned that he got put in jail earlier, compulsory prostitution is what he was convicted and found out for, so they put him in jail for that. So great job, New York. So like I said earlier, on January 26, 1962, Luciano died. He died of a heart attack and was buried in St. John's Cemetery in Queens. I believe when he died, he was in Italy at the time to go talk to somebody to like make a film about himself, which is really interesting because he was kind of scared that he would like rile up some other mafia bosses because he's like doing a film. But he kind of was like, okay, I'll think about it, and was gonna talk to this person, but he had a heart attack. Funny thing though, he was gonna get like arrested by some other people who didn't like him. So kind of great that he died. Not really. So now you may be thinking, you probably aren't, but I'm gonna say this anyways. You're probably thinking, why was he called Lucky Luciano? So allegedly, he got into some like fights and stuff, and apparently his throat was gonna be slit, but he like survived and didn't die from like all this like getting beat upness. So he's pretty lucky, I guess. So yeah, that's basically it. I honestly, I don't know if my passion for like mafia, crime, and all that came through in this, but I love reading about that stuff and telling all of y'all about it. Telling you about it. So thank you for watching. I'll probably do more stuff surrounding this and everything else in the future. If you have a question that you'd like me to get into, just leave it in the comments and I'll eventually get around to it. Even if I'm like 80, I'll be like on my deathbed and I'll be like, I gotta answer this question. So yes, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.